Hey everybody, it's been such a long time since I made a video. I still don't have the equipment, setup, or experience that I want to make videos, but I felt compelled to make this one real quick. So yesterday, I bought this. I don't know if you can see, 5 movie collection, Superman collection, the Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve Superman, and I bought it for several reasons. I like superheroes, sci-fi, fantasy. Um, And but the main reason I bought it was to finally settle the debate once and for all of who is the best Superman, what is the best Superman movie, and uh, let the fight begin. We'll try and keep this under 5 minutes. And if you're into superheroes, Superman, whatever, you probably know that the Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve Superman not only is iconic, but is held up as like the paragon, the example of what Superman should be, superhero movies should be, and that he is uh, the model. And if you are somebody who's into the DCEU, Superman, Henry Cavill, Zack Snyder, you know that that version comes under a lot of scrutiny and criticisms and gets compared to Christopher Reeve. So I've wanted to re-examine and revisit the Christopher Reeve movies after having this opportunity to get the collection and watch it. No, I haven't watched all of them, but I wanted to see just what they were at, and just watch them for watching them sake and enjoyment, and just see what it's like now as an adult. And 2 movies in, I felt compelled to make this video. And in short, I wanted to say to myself and anybody who defends Zack Snyder and DCEU, Henry Cavill, how could you ever have doubted yourself? How could you ever have felt insecure or whatever? Um, so I knew why I defended and what I thought about Zack Snyder and his work and all that, and um, didn't come to those conclusions out of nowhere. There's been a lot of thought and a lot of reasons behind coming to those conclusions. But you hear so much that this Christopher Reeve and Donner Superman is the Superman. And it's like, all right. And you hear people's reasons, and it's like, okay. Um, but when I see it again for myself, after who knows how many years, like um, more than 10, I don't know how long, a long time. And it's like, this is who they, this is what they say you should aspire to. This is the example. It's ridiculous. And it reminds me of another situation that I was in. It like really parallels it so well. And it's the dating game, the dating market. Like, all right, so I have very limited experience with dating and all this, and I have my own assessment of myself and my value and my own insecurities. And when you're on a dating site or trying to approach somebody on the street or whatever, it's like in a vacuum. So you know what you know about yourself, and you have whatever perception you have about the world, and you place yourself in that world. But it's like being in a vacuum. But in late January or early February, whatever, I had the opportunity to go to a dating event that was set up by a speed dating company. And it was like a meet and greet. And I got to see firsthand the competition, basically. The other guys that are looking for women, want to date, want a relationship. And I got to see firsthand where I place. And it was such a morale booster. I kid you not, that it's like, I I might be a loser. I might have this shortcoming, that shortcoming, whatever. But these guys make me look like Superman. It was such a shock. It was such a fun and enjoyable experience for several reasons. But that was one of the things that I took away. Like, um, my understanding of my market value in the dating market versus the reality were vastly different. And it was like a wake up call. I thought I was here, and in reality, I was much, much higher, have much greater market value. And another situation like that, there's this woman that I really liked. I thought she was so attractive and such a catch. And she calls herself Candy Chaos or whatever. And I thought she was so, like I said, attractive. But I knew she had a boyfriend. And then when I finally got to see her boyfriend, I was like, that dork? Nothing against him. Actually, he made me feel better about myself. It's like, if he can catch her, then I can catch anybody. I could catch anyone I want. And it was such, like I said, if this was like a video game, this is when you get your little health pack and like you're revitalized. That go Super Saiyan or whatever. It was just such a shock and like such a morale boost. So in the same way, anybody who feels that the Christopher Reeve Donner Superman is the Superman, I challenge them that they have not watched it recently, and to go revisit it, rewatch it, just like I am now. And if you're somebody who like defends the Zack Snyder, Henry Cavill Superman, I also challenge you to go revisit it, and you will be not only thoroughly amused, but your morale and confidence will be given a shot in the arm. We'll go through the roof. There's nothing wrong with liking the Donner Superman. There's nothing wrong with liking the Henry Cavill Superman. I enjoy them both, and I want to do like some video essays or breakdowns about each movie. But once you get to see where you measure up, how you measure up, and against direct competition, it is such a, like I said, uh, so interesting. So if you ever had doubts about um, Superman and the definitive or the best, revisit these movies. Um, this fandom for the DCEU and Superman and Henry Cavill and Snyder, I've met like the most intelligent, articulate, critical thinking people that I have in like any fandom. And it's probably because we've been tested by fire. You're under a constant barrage of attacks all the time. And these people have really helped us hone our skills at reasoning, or maybe it's just a certain type of person is drawn to Snyder's storytelling and his material because he puts such thought and care into it, that somebody who puts a lot of thought and care into different things appreciates that. But whatever the case, whether it's being tried by fire and being refined by defending, or just being that type of person or whatever already and being drawn to it, like I said, I've met some of the most intelligent, articulate, well-reasoning and logical people that I have in any fandom, and I've experienced many, and I've talked to so many people. And just 2 movies in, watching this reminds me of that. So, if you ever had any doubts about the quality of the storytelling, the quality of Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill's Superman, don't. Like I said, you can enjoy whatever you enjoy, but I encourage everybody to go revisit these movies again and look at them with a fresh pair of eyes, and you'll be like, you'll be, you'll have a lot of thoughts. You'll be inspired. And hopefully, you'll see me again, and we'll say, an examination of each movie or whatever on its own merits and values. But again, like I said, when I went to that dating thing, and I was like, wow, dang, Doug. Dang, Doug. How could you ever have doubted yourself in the same way? You hear a lot of stuff about who's the best and all that, but if you actually look at them, there's nothing to doubt.